Hey, what's going on, everyone? We're here at Marando Farms and Ranch in Davie, Florida. We're going to be meeting with Chelsea today to show us a little bit about what she's got going on here at the farm. Super exciting stuff. We already have the chickens running around. Really beautiful day out. Can't wait to show you guys.
It's alright. These are the thing of twine. I know, when we have an event. And they'll run them up. What we have to do now, turn that in, and it'll turn a lot of Florida natives. Come on in. Good morning. My name's Chelsea Miranda. This is Miranda Farms and Ranch. Welcome to my farm. We're going to do some chores, and I'm going to show you a little bit about farming. It's kind of swapped out the little baby goats this morning. We got our turkeys. Somebody brought us that duck that's got a crooked neck. I think his name is Swerve. We got wild rabbits running all over. They know it's feeding time. When it comes to refrigeration of eggs, we are the only country that refrigerates eggs. Wolfing is a worldwide organization of organic farming, and it's an international group. And it allows guests to travel all over the world, all over the country. We teach them about our lifestyle and the things that we do on the farm, whether it's gardening, tending to the animals. Payroll is your biggest expense. And when you can't overcompensate. So woofing allows us to house and feed guests. And then in turn, they give us hours a week in labor.
Awesome.
No other country refrigerates eggs. The European countries, Asian countries, they're fresh eggs. So eggs tend to last longer when they're out in the open, whether they're fertilized or not. Once they're removed, as long as they're not heated.
Man, you've been on a farm like this before?
Okay. Not this up close and personal.
The refrigeration process, because it's porous, in the store you'll see white eggs. They bleach their eggs. Well, that's porous, so now we're ingesting bleach. So just a little soap and water is all that's needed. And then, setting them out on the table in an air-conditioned house. I mean, I get it. I know it gets hot here in Florida. But we have chefs that specifically buy our eggs that aren't refrigerated so they can sit out on the ships. And then they'll travel, and we've had chefs call us and say, save me eggs. Your fresh eggs have lasted 3 months.
3 months?
3 months. A fresh egg will last. We probably lose more food out in the gardens than we actually produce.
Oh, wow.
And anyway, we would only produce probably on this farm about 10% of what we sell. Most of it is saved for the winter months. So in the new year, you'll see out here we have to start all our seedlings. So all the seedlings have been started. And then in turn, we have to transplant them out there because we have wild rabbits, iguanas, fox, anything and everything that will eat your plants. They will. But they love the seedlings, so you have to get them to about 8 to 12 inches high, 8 to 10 I say, and then we'll transplant them out there and stake them out. And we've suffered so many losses in past years that now we've seen it's a little bit easier starting it up here. Instead of, we used to run rows, and you'll see we won't do that anymore. You'll see we've got greenhouses when we pass them out back. And then the greenhouses shelter and kind of keep it from, either torrential rain pours. So the greenhouses that are out there have a luminette shade cloth on them from extreme heat or extreme cold.
Getting in on the labor.
Right?
And what do we have in here again?
So that's broiler feed, and that is an organic mixture of oats, and it's all ground up, so it's easily digestible by the chickens themselves. Grains, there's I think even some rosemary and stuff like that inside there for the chickens. But her chickens are all on a special diet. And you'll see they're not the prettiest of chickens, but They're the tastiest. Yeah, I've been dealing with raw dairy my entire life. So we don't like store-bought milk because it's garbage. It's nothing but sugar and water. They've pasteurized it, they've homogenized it, and the body doesn't even, so it serves no purpose other than sugar water. Thing on a farm is you open a fence, you gotta close a fence.
Thank you.
They walk. We'll take the chicken feed out front. So this is a lot of Florida native. I know. We'll groom these into like Christmas trees. Fresh rosemary, some mangoes, and this is a cashew tree. Tamarind, sorry. Jackfruit. Guavas. This is loofah. Yeah, loofah sponges. You know that just kind of scrub.
Oh, wow.
With Brussels sprouts, collard greens. Tomatoes are starting here. There's no calcium left in it. They killed it all. You know, they'll add folic acid or some vitamin A or something. Why are we doing that when it was perfectly fine in its original form? And in its raw form, the body absorbs the calcium. If you're asking me, do I consume it? That is the only dairy my family consumes. We wouldn't even go out to dinner and order like milk. Or, you know, just because the kids hate it.
Yeah.
They're like, this is gross. This is milk?
Yeah.
And they're like, it's not my milk. Our broiler chickens. So they're not like the prettiest of breeds by any means, because their goal is to get on the plate as early as possible, right? So normally what happens is store-bought chicken, from the time the egg hatches till your dinner plate is about 21 days, 28 max. Our chickens take about 90.
Oh, wow.
So, you know, they're just out kind of grazing. This fence will move 7 to 10 times.
Oh, really?
You know? Yeah.
So so this 21-day chickens would be the same size as that, or?
Well, they pump theirs up with all kinds of stuff, sodium chloride, you know, after they're butchered. So
Afterwards?
yeah, they make those breasts nice and plump. So they're kind of putting fillers and stuff in. And then, you know, these chickens are just in feedlots, so they just run, and they're constantly, you know, feed is just running through them. They never even get out of, you know, that little feedlot that they're in. So pasture-raised chicken is much different than store-bought chicken.
Yeah.
And knowing where your food comes. I mean, it's a little bit more of a premium price. I know that, you know, we sell whole birds at $7.50 a pound, and, you know, I know you can go to get it for $1.29 a pound, but
There's a
get
big
what you pay for. You know, it takes 120 gallons of milk to make 50 pounds of butter.
Whoa.
120 gallons of milk to make 50 pounds of butter.
So these are just for chickens.
That's just for meat. Those are meat birds. So you've got your layers and your broilers.
Layers and broilers, right?
The differentiation in like yolk colors sometimes, like sometimes you'll have like
Yeah.
a deeper orange or a lighter orange.
Sure, and that's usually water. By the time, you know, how much water was available. You know, our chickens, when Monica makes all her juices and presses all that pulp, so we feed them beet pulp and spinach pulp, and we don't, the orange citrus and ginger, that kind of pulp isn't great for the chickens, for their gizzards. So we learned, but you kind of live and learn in farming too, you know. You get all that beautiful pulp, so she does the ginger and puts that aside, and we feed that to the hogs.
Oh, wow.
So, like, the pumpkin patch, too, is a natural dewormer for all your chickens and the animals on the farm. So all the rotten pumpkins that didn't sell or whatnot, we were just able to feed them to the hogs, and And then that kind of is an all natural dewormer, so you're not having to give them antibiotics or things like that. Pumpkins. Who knew, right?
Who knew pumpkins were natural dewormers? I didn't know.
And the thing about raw dairy is raw dairy, it doesn't ever go bad. The milk will go sour, but you wouldn't believe South Americans, they love sour milk. They love it. They leave it sit out and that's how they drink it. You know, they prefer it that way. All right, let's see what we got for hog feed. Come on in. Somebody already did it for us.
Carry these?
Yep.
So is this everything that's
This was from our restaurant and cafe that nobody ate, and then we just kind of put scraps in. However, I had to do a little bit more with those two.
So there's very little waste.
Very little waste. We have to recycle everything because otherwise it's expensive. Feeding animals. So you'll see the pigs out back. One's about to give birth, so I have to check on her daily, twice a day. My daughter delivers.
Oh my god.
She's 11, right? You saw her this morning running out.
11-year-old delivers piglets.
That's more like a woman.
She hopes the dog doesn't embarrass them and catch a rabbit. Really cool stuff.
Organic chicken scratch.
Scratch.
It helps the newborn chickens learn how to hunt and peck for food and, look for worms and stuff like that. Give them some of the crumble, which the crumble is like fossil shells, and it kind of helps make their eggs hard.
Is it calcium or is that?
Yep.
Yeah, the calcium.
But, sour milk, it's great for baking. It makes the fluffiest. So even if the milk doesn't taste right for you to drink it, it's still amazing to bake with. So don't ever pour it down the drain, it's liquid gold.
Yeah.
So bake with it, and buttermilk will make the most amazing pancakes, and the sour milk does the same thing. It wouldn't change. Fluffy waffles and cakes and cookies and stuff like that all need milk. And the cream too, and the cream goes sour cream. So we slap it on our baked potatoes, and it just changes its form. It doesn't go bad, crazy. Unlike pasteurized. That goes bad and could make you sick.
Wow. There's nothing fun about moving hay. I know that isn't.
It's when it's, a couple hundred of them. That's still fun.
Yeah.
One's all right.
Yeah.
Building soil. The soil wasn't as good as it could be for growing out here, so it took us about 7 years to rehabilitate the soil by adding a lot of compost, horse manure. This is my daughter's show chicken.
What's a show chicken?
So she shows her Black Awthorpe in the county fairs. She's a 4-H'er. So 4-H is a club, kind of like Girl Scouts and Boy Scouts, but for farm kids.
Oh, wow. So what kind of chickens are these?
They're all different kinds. We've got Rhode Island Reds. They're all kind of mixed breeds. We'll take half of the chicken eggs, and then we've lost so many. We've probably lost 100,000 chickens.
100,000?
Hundreds of thousands. I got one. But I think something's coming in at night and stealing them, because I can see. Usually we'll have, a dozen. Some days are better than others.
Yeah.
But exactly, I couldn't live on just selling eggs. I understand the cleanliness part of it and why government put that into place. And it was during the Great Depression. People were feeding their cows or whatever they had to get by, And then the milk became, or the cleanliness process. So cleanliness is a big part of it, you know, but even, I mean, and you hear about, you know, farms and the spinach or the cantaloupe or the farmer, and, you know, he didn't rinse off his, well, that was because somebody was like out in the field and went to the bathroom or something. Because listen, farms can be massive, you know what I mean? So a part of that is cleanliness. And the guy, that particular farmer, had bought a secondhand used, which most farmers do. You can't buy everything brand new. We fix what's broken. There's not extra cash flow to go out and finance a brand new $250,000 tractor, you know what I mean, that you have to do. So a farm goes out of business and you pick it up cheap. Well, I guess it wasn't cleaned properly, and then it was out there, and then it had E. coli or salmonella or something like that. So I understand how the government steps in for mass production and food.
They're friendly.
And he's hungry right now, so you might want to wait till after he eats.
We're gonna put Manny in there. Manny, have you seen one before? That big?
Not that big. What kind of breed is that?
He is half Berkshire and half boar.
Half boar?
Yep. Wild boar.
Oh, he's foaming out the mouth. He's so
So
hungry.
I just want to show size comparison.
Yeah, stand up a little closer.
Big guy.
I know, right? They don't care. My trough broke. The boys are supposed to be making me a new trough for the hogs.
Want me to dump the other one in? Or?
Sure.
So you're getting all 3 buckets of food?
Yep.
3 buckets of food.
Where's his one in?
Just go in right here.
Yep.
And that's how many, you do one of these a day or?
Twice a day.
Twice.
So yeah, he'll eat about he needs to sustain, he needs 50 pounds of feed a day.
Well, what was that
And
number?
her too, because now she's, you know, now. But and then their vitamins and proteins in there one, and then the corn just kind of sweetens the deal a little bit, you know.
How many pounds was that, you said?
So, well, you've got 3 5-gallon buckets. If they were 50 pounds apiece, you know, 50, but it's not liquid, obviously. So I try to figure that that's about 50 pounds of food, and then I'll have to do it again tonight.
Wow.
So,
And if you forget to feed, he will be up in the market in the store.
Wow.
yeah.
You don't forget to feed. I'm coming.
So what size would be like a good eating size? Is there?
So we usually say between 30 and 40 pounds suckling pig.
Right.
So yeah, when they start breaking out and running out, because when they're little they can fit through the, you know, and they'll run amok, and then they dig up the whole place.
Oh,
They're
yeah.
rooting, you know.
Yeah.
So when they start getting big enough to start terrorizing,
That's when.
that's when they go to the dinner table.
Gotcha. It's. I get the same standard works out. Like I'm a hunter, so
Yeah.
when people want hunters to come to their land and manage the population,
Right.
it's because they tear everything up.
The thing of twine or something around here to get hot. I don't know if this is gonna work. Usually I got it with twine.
So this is. So you needed a knife to.
To break my veil.
Sorry to throw you off again. There you go.
Go.
There's the answer. You knew there was one laying around somewhere.
There's always something like
Those donkeys?
So at night they're let out. They're my security system. And then when they're let out, they will pretty much kill anything that tries to hurt the chickens most of the time.
Really?
They help. That's what happens when you forget your knife.
It's tricks of the trade right there.
Well, gotta learn quick, otherwise
Eh,
you'll be out here all day. We got stuff to do. Small farms, we know what we can handle and what our year limit is. My dairy farmer, he knows his limit is, he's grown his herd to 120 cows and they milk twice a day. So, you know what I mean? So exactly, he knows his absolute limit on dairy cows. You have to know your limitations and you have to accept that. And you have to live within those means. I know that with all the work that we have here on the farm, we can only butcher 25 to 30 chickens a week. And that's my family having to wake up before school. And we're, and then you're checking temperatures and, you've got thermometers and then it's everything that's of good quality, and we put our name on it. So you don't want your name being trailed through the mud. You have to know your limits of what you can and can't do. Any more babies? The goats are so mischievous and they're so... But we don't do goat meat. We live here, we work here, we eat here. This is our bread and butter, and we share it with you because, yes, we don't make a whole lot of money, but we do work with local farms. I work with anywhere from 19 to 25 farms during the growing season.
oh wow.
And then they bring me goods. Or my husband has to go there and help mend fences because his wife has MS and he's having to go back and forth and he's got 5 kids under the age of 11. We have to stick together.
And you do this whole run twice a day? The whole run that you just did?
Yeah.
Wow.
Every morning and every night. Yeah, Papa. That's Johnny Cash, June Carter, a girl named Sue, and Jujubee. We finally got Johnny Cash neutered. But you see, he's older. We didn't know how old he was. When he came, June, we rescued them out of Loxahatchee or something. So they came as a couple, and then they just started having babies. And every time, we were like, oh, she's pregnant again.
How often was that?
So it takes 11 months.
11 months?
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
This is our choice, and we love it. We have the freedom to not really to go anywhere. We have wonderful help like woofers that come in, and when they stay a long time, then it allows us, And these are pretty cool. So these are Florida Cracker horses. The Florida Cracker horse was brought over in the 1600s by the Spanish conquistadors. And they brought them over and traded them with the Indians for different, citrus and fruits, all these other cool things. They're known for their endurance and that their feet can be like swampy and wet, unlike fancy thoroughbreds or quarter horses that get lots of feet problems when they stay in moist situations. However, they are on the endangered species list.
Oh, wow.
The Florida Cracker horses. They were replaced by the American quarter horse, which you can see they're smaller and thinner in stature, but they're known for their endurance. Hero, we work hard. We work hard like horses. We're mules. These are just really important on a farm. No farm, no food. So these are the ones that give us the flowers. How we got this was through a land preservation grant. And the land preservation grant is a grant given by the government that preserves green space. It allows us to live and work the land for 25 years. So it's a 99-year land preservation grant. So after 25 years, my debt will be paid back to them, and either we can choose to prolong that and use it as family land, or my kids can sell it. And
So this is government?
it's government, and The town and county also helped us purchase those. We are an equine facility. You don't necessarily have to grow food. It would just have to say ag exemption. We don't have health insurance. We eat well and we eat clean. That's our health insurance. This is it. This is what we do. 15, 18-hour days, and I wouldn't trade it for anything. I just think you should support your local farmers. We work hard. It's important before we all go away, or we don't raise our children this way, and then, you know, we can all have space food. Come back with a warrant. That's kind of, does that not say it all?
Yeah. Awesome.
Thanks, guys. It was a pleasure.
Thank you so much. Yeah.
I gotta get back to work, but
I'm gonna shop around now and get some ingredients to prepare a nice meal. Let's see what we find. Definitely gonna use some chicken. I'm gonna grab a whole chicken and show you how to break it down. It's a lot more cost effective. You ever seen yogurt in a gallon, a half-gallon container? We have some milk, we have cheese, butter, goat's milk, cow's milk.
Farm fresh eggs over
Oh,
here.
real free-range, pasture-raised. We sold with our own eyes. This is how you should be packing your eggs. Right from out back. Look at that. Huge container. Red pepper. Couple zucchinis. Organically grown. The 2 ears of corn. Gonna make a nice colorful succotash with that. Something super light, fresh. So to keep it fall-esque, I'm gonna get either a butternut squash or an acorn squash. I'll do a nice little puree underneath. It'll bring the whole thing together. So butternut squash puree, corn, zucchini, and pepper succotash with the chicken on top. And I'll do a pan sauce with a little butter, lemon, little herbs. It should be really good.
Alright, Manny. It's the moment we've been waiting for.
Breeze Birds, a division of Miranda Farms. Fine whole birds with the sticker for optimal health and taste. Processed by hand on a farm. Carbon neutral chicken. See that? Stamp of approval. Everyone was so kind and down to earth. They're all really proud of what they do as well. It's really special. It gives me a lot of motivation to keep going out and doing this. And I hope everyone gets to enjoy watching just even half as much as I enjoy doing this. This is our first video. It couldn't have gone any better out there. Chelsea was amazing. She has so much knowledge on her land and how it produces, and it's just really, really, really cool. I can't wait to show you. Catch you in the kitchen.